Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of the Fair and Fair Life podcast. I have someone really special today. You can call him the founder and childlike CEO of MySunar, which is a leading and safe ear piercing service for your children. Well, before I say a lot, first of all, welcome, Sajan. How are you today?
Hi, Krati. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm doing well. I hope that you well too.
Yes, very well. Thank you for asking. And I also have Monica with me. Monica, do you want to say hello?
Hey, hello, Sajan and Prati. I'm so excited to have a conversation with Sajan to learn so many good things because when we were trying to understand from Sajan, he came out to be a very, very warm personality, very passionate to whatever he's doing. So looking forward, Sajan, looking forward to know more about it.
Likewise, Monica. Good to be here.
Thank you. Okay.
Thanks.
And so a little bit more about our guest. So he is one who has actually been in the corporate for 20 years. He's also a Mumbaiker and he left his corporate career to actually pursue this dream of his. He feels that he hates monotony. He's very restless and he wants to keep doing something. And it seems that he's found his challenge, his love to really pursue what he does with MySunar. So today we want to explore how his journey has been, how challenging, how rewarding, and basically just understand what we can really take from his journey today. So Sajan, we'll dive right into it. Um, My first question to you is, metaphorically speaking, if your life was so far a dance performance, what would be the name of this show and why?
So, Krati, my love is dancing. I love dancing. I take it as my stress buster. Right? And if the show has to have a name, it'll be Winning Hearts. Right? Because dance performance is about winning hearts, and I'm a sales guy for about 2 decades.
Hmm?
And sales guys also have very something very common that the dancers have, which is about winning hearts. Right? Sales guys love appreciation. They want everyone to applaud for them. They want awards. And that's how dancers are, right? When they dance, they want the whole crowd to just go bowled over of what they're performing. So my show is going to be winning hearts.
Amazing. I just want to give a little bit of a backstory as well. And basically, Sajan, Sajan is a fabulous dancer. And Sajan, myself, and Monica, we kind of go back to our corporate days where we were almost working together. So I went to a few retreats where all the salespeople were, and Sajan was one of them. And he's very good at salsa, and I can dance, but I'm one of those who is not a very technical dancer. And he would just make us flow like anything, like not just me, but anybody. Like he would stand with anybody and he could make anybody dance. So um, I can tell you, Sergeant, for sure that you've won several hearts, and you've just brought so much joy to our faces, just helping us be there and enjoy that experience. So thank you.
Thank
I would
you.
love to be on that show. Competition wala hoga, would that be like the competition show or free flowing?
No, no, no. Free flow, absolute free flow.
Yeah.
Those who just get a kick out of dancing, उनके लिए होगा वो show.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So I think my next question, why don't we talk about, my Sunar and how did this idea come to life?
So, Krati, first of all, the idea doesn't belong to me.
Mhm.
Okay, the idea is one of my closest buddy, my friend, and also the co-founder. Right? We both did our engineering together. The idea belongs to him, but I am the architect, proud
Huh?
architect of this. I built this from scratch. So, and the idea was such that it had to do with children, right? Because it was an unorganized, I would still say it's an unorganized sector. We are trying to do, and we're trying hard to organize this sector. When we did our initial survey of how parents felt about what the first thing that comes to every parent's concern, parameter or concern list is the paranoia that they have. They have extreme fear. Most of them, just don't dare to do it. So we said, how could we simplify this for them? And so you said I'm a Mumbaiker, right? In Mumbai or in Maharashtra, Maharashtrians have this ritual of getting the child done, a piercing done at the age when they're 12 days old. Can you imagine? 12
Oh,
days old. And
yes.
imagine if they have to take the child out to, a jewelry place, or even for that matter. How would how would the psyche be? I mean, how are they going to really take care of it? And so there's a lot of things that we wanted to simplify, and that's primarily the reason why I just bought the idea of what my friend had. Obviously, there are a lot of things about how the background work. Initially, he talked about it when I was not serious about it, because I was in the middle of a career that I was enjoying at the corporate, during my corporate days. But I think it was written for me. It was written that I had to do something like this. And I love children. I love children because I still enjoy my parenting journey. So that's if I think if I could answer how it was it born? It wasn't born in my head, right? But I've been living with it for last 4.5 years that I've been associated with MySunar as a co-founder. Yeah, yeah, that's it, Krati.
So, Sajan, when you're talking about it is not your idea, and you even mentioned that how your parents were actually, I would not say scared, but they were not comfortable, in this space where you were starting something new. And after you coming in this space, again, you have to understand too many things, then now everything is okay. I'm sure there must be still feelings that, abhi bhi mauka hai, abhi bhi, there are few more years for my son to be like absolutely fine. But then still, how did you manage both the challenges? Because one is your parent side, another is your Sonar side, professional side.
So obviously my parents were against this, right? And I didn't involve them in the decision making when I was quitting. I just told them I'm doing this because I want to do something different. They still don't understand what a startup is. My dad understands because but he doesn't understand the depth of, how the startup works. And in our family, nobody has been a so-called business. Nobody has come from the business. And we all have been working class, right? So he didn't understand this at all. My mother, she still, I think, 80% of the people whom she knows, she hasn't disclosed that I've quit Tata's, right?
Oh my
So
God.
she still stays, in her mind, my last designation, although I got promoted after that, my last designation is what she still talks about. He's a GM in Tata.com, right? So that's where she's left. So she hasn't come in terms that, I can really do something like this. It's a big challenge, Monica. I'm also under extreme pressure because of that, because my parents are getting older. They have seen my peak, they have seen my success. If I don't give them the success at the right age, if I don't show them the success at the right age, फिर मेरा मतलब नहीं रहेगा फिर वो करने का. I want them to see my success when I can really take them around. They can see that how successful is, not when they are struggling, right? तो वो एक extreme pressure है मेरे पे. तो जब भी मैं when I go and meet them and when I'm returning, I come back with so much of energy. I can't tell you. I come back with कि मैं सब फोड़ दूंगा. मैं अभी I'm going to work 100 times harder than. So they are, in that sense, चलेगा उनकी नाराजगी या उनका emotions and उनकी fear. I'm okay with that. because that gives me the energy and the reason to work harder. So वो है. और एक बहुत ब्यूटीफुल सा लाइन है कबीर खान का. कबीर खान, राइट? द स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन, इज अ कबीर खान.
Zakir?
डू यू नो? जाकिर खान, है सॉरी, जाकिर. जाकिर खान, कबीर खान बोल रहा हूँ. जाकिर का एक बहुत ब्यूटीफुल सा लाइन है कि घर वालों को तुम्हारे पैशन से कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, बस वो तुमको गरीब नहीं देखना चाहते.
Ah, that's very touchy. Yes, so
है ना?
true.
सो माँ बाप को ये लगता है कि बस ये कर रहे हैं मतलब गरीब हो गया है ये, राइट? एंड इट हैपेंस, राइट?
Mhm.
सो ये है. सो माय विद मोनिका, विद माय फैमिली, दिस इज बीइंग द, because, and you'll not believe, to have a conversation with my father at length is difficult, right?
Mm.
And he's always been he was a strict father. मतलब बहुत ही, मतलब हम लोग डरते थे, मतलब all three brothers.
Okay.
अभी ठीक है, अभी he's open up, but still not, conversations can't be like कि बैठे और बात कर रहे हैं and you can just open up, ऐसा भी नहीं होता था. So what I, because I knew that उनके दिमाग में बहुत चल रहा है कि बॉस, हाउ इज ही सर्वाइविंग, डज ही पे, एवरीथिंग, इज ही एबल टू सर्वाइव. तो मैं उनको कभी कभी समझा नहीं पाता हूँ. तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं घर आ जाता हूँ व्हेन आई मीट देम. सो जब वो, उनको बहुत चिंता होती है, मैं घर आता हूँ, फिर मैं एक ड्राफ्ट करता हूँ मैसेज. आई ड्राफ्ट दैट मैसेज और उसमें पूरा लिखता हूँ. माई पुट माई इनफैक्ट आई पुट माई रियल नंबर्स, दैट इतना सेल किया हमने, इतनी रेवेन्यू ऑन की हमने, इतने कस्टमर्स ऐड किए, ये हमारा गूगल पोजिशनिंग है कि देखो कैसे. आई हैव टू, सो दैट यू कैन पेशेंटली रीड थ्रू ईच ऑफ दोज नंबर्स एंड सेटल. और मैं उनको यही समझाता हूँ कि माई कंपनी में बी डूइंग सम, मेरे बैंक, कंपनी के बैंक में होगा पैसा, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वो मेरा पैसा है. Because it's a private limited run company, I take a salary from that company. और अभी मैं सैलरी इतना नहीं ले सकता जो मैं जस्टिफाई नहीं कर पाऊँ कंपनी की. तो ये सब चीजें समझानी पड़ती हैं उनको. एंड वो एक, that's one part of the thing that I have to continuously do, because after a certain age it's very important that you have that, keep them balanced, otherwise they'll be too stressed, right? So that's it. That's one part of how parents are. And the second is कि with what we do, the focus around children, right? We're solving it for parents, right? And if you take it from me, that the most difficult, or if I would say demanding, right? The most demanding customers are parents. Most
I know.
demanding, right? They're
I know.
extremely demanding. You go to a school, I'm talking about today. I mean, our parents were not demanding. They only demanded from us. They didn't demand from the world, right?
Right.
But if you speak about each of these young parents, and I think I wasn't like that, and I'm not young anymore. But those parents who are young, उनकी expectation स्कूल के टीचर से भी है,
I know.
स्कूल से भी है,
I
राइट?
know.
बिल्कुल.
स्कूल स्कूल बस से भी है.
Hmm.
वो स्कूल बस के टीचर कॉन्डक्ट, जो लेडी कॉन्डक्टर, वो सबसे एक्सपेक्टेशन है उनको. सो पेरेंट्स आर दैट डिमांडिंग, राइट? और उनके साथ में वर्किंग सो क्लोजली विद देम, आई एंड माय टीम. ओके, सो द सुनार्स, technically they were too skilled, but in terms of discipline, they didn't value discipline to reaching. Now look at, our business is so different, that if a parent has booked it for 10:30 to 11:30, let's say, in the morning hours, there's a reason, there's a thought behind doing that. Could be the feed time, could be the sleep time,
Hmm.
so many things that they look at. And so,
Yeah.
and our team would reach, instead of 10:30, by 11 o'clock, 11:15. They would say that piercing है ना, करना ही है ना जाके, right? So,
Mm.
and to transform that thought, in bringing in discipline in them, is taken me so much of time, right? And I have worked so closely with them for my initial 3.5 years, so closely, right? I have literally gone to each and every, so we are in 12 cities. I've gone to each and every 12 cities and about 19 sonars, right? I've gone to each and everybody's home because I wanted to see we're going to spend about 1 hour to 1.5 hours at a parent's place.
Mm.
Where do they come from? Are they trustworthy? Everything, right? And the first filter for that was, what's their family background? कहाँ रहते हैं? कौन-कौन है घर पे? So I have gone to each one of their home, चाहे वो दिल्ली हो, कलकत्ता हो, हैदराबाद हो, केरला हो, कहीं पे भी, हर जगह गया हुआ मैं. And to transform them to be disciplined, soft skills. हमारे इसमें अगर इस जनरेशन वाले पेरेंट्स के साथ में, if you don't have soft skills, you're gone, right? They'll just blow you up on Google. They'll just blow you up.
Yeah.
इतने impulsive हैं वो कि they'll just use all available social media tool to make sure that you don't survive. So अगर soft skills नहीं है, if you do not have patience, if you do not know how to handle difficult situation, and we come across difficult situation, 10:30 का 11 हो गया, difficult situation. बच्चा रो दिया, difficult situation. हल्का सा खून निकल गया, difficult situation. Right?
Yeah.
Anything that they saw on the video and is not seen here while performing, difficult situation.
Wow.
How do you handle those difficult situations? Soft skills is so important. I never wanted
Mm.
an army of people to manage my business. I said we will see how technology can do the
Support.
best.
Mm.
उनको उन्होंने अपने मोबाइल फोन पे, they even don't even 95% of them मोबाइल पे व्हाट्सएप भी नहीं करते. वो व्हाट्सएप टेक्स्ट भी नहीं करते. दे वुड वांट टू डू कॉल पे फोन करो मुझे, कॉल पे बताओ. To transform them to even start using WhatsApp, because parents would want to communicate on WhatsApp and etc. Messages would go on WhatsApp. You can't keep calling. My backend team can't keep calling. To an extent that how to use an application. Right? So we have a application through which they see their order, they complete their order, and so on and so forth. So taking them to the level of understanding technology, using another mammoth task, right? So that's where, you know, they were never popular. They've been doing this for so many years. But कौन
Yeah.
जानता था उनको? कोई नहीं जानता था. Even if they were doing good work, the appreciation that the best that they would get was some 100 rupees, 150 rupees. Yeah? And most of them used to be employed in a jeweler shop.
Yeah.
So got through. And they were never famous. Today, all of them are, those who are well, they're famous, right? There are videos, their videos on Instagram. They feel so loved. They send it to their relatives and say that, Instagram pe hai hum log. And so we've also done celebrities, right? So celebrities have done it from us, and top celebrities of, not the 70 picture wale, but the top celebrities of the Indian television industry. Right? They have done it from us. उनका वीडियोस एंड इतना पॉपुलर होना उनके विलेज में, और विलेज से बोलना कि भाऊ ये आपने किया क्या, दे आर इन अ डिफरेंट, दे आर रेस्पेक्टेड टुडे व्हेन दे गो टुडे. At least 90%, 10% of parents won't, because everybody have a different way of dealing with people, right?
Yeah.
If you're very close, 90% of them are good. They will ask them to settle down, offer tea, which has never happened for them. Because they
Yeah.
they were never treated the way they were treated now. So there's so much of change that we have brought into how this whole approach has been. And uh, thanks, I would say, thanks to my patience and thanks to the end goal that I wanted. I was clear of the end goal that I wanted. And in that journey, I could get people, they were difficult, people who have now bettered. I'm saying in terms of the sonars. So, so yeah, so I always say this, as a sales guy, you can do feature based selling, you can do outcome based selling, and you can do feelings based selling.
Yeah.
The business that we run is completely feelings based. Features have a role to play. The feeling
So
wouldn't, the outcome of feeling wouldn't come unless the feature is there. Because yes, our hypoallergenic, ETO sterilized, hygienic, sterile, and so many of technical words. But what does that matter? That how do you convert that into the feeling based? A parent, when they call us or they reach out to us,
mm.
pre consumption, then during consumption, how the whole procedure is being done by the sonar. that's you're leaving a feeling with them. How
Mm.
when my daughter cried, how did they handle it?
Yeah.
Right? How our our whole fear or paranoia that they had about piercing, how they just solved it like, "Hmm, it's a feeling." How
Because
post consumption, how post consumption. Sorry, Krati, I'll just finish
Go
this.
ahead. Yes.
How post consumption, that how well they have taken care of all the safety parts so that my child recovers well. Right? We just adding up the feeling part of it. So, and I've always felt that when you sell, with feeling in your mind that you want to leave with, you will be remembered. And that's what, every company wants. You want to be remembered, right? Or every individual wants. I mean, personally, if you ask me, when you ask me, what's going to be my dance ka show name, I said Winning Hearts, right? What does Winning Hearts mean? I want to be remembered. I want to be remembered that Sajan performed here,
Yeah.
right? And he's left something here. And that's how my company, I want every parent to remember us of what we left with them, what we solved for them, how we made their little ones feel special and absolutely comfortable, how we address their paranoia and fear, and so that they'll talk about to 10 other parents and say, "Boss, if you want to go to someone, just go to them." And that's what I
mm,
want. And that's my ultimate goal. That's my end goal. Right?
that's so
And
nice.
yeah, Krati, you were
See,
saying something, sorry.
no, I was saying, and that's what sometimes takes the time to get converted into that currency that actually hits you know, your wallet, and your parents get to see it and feel satisfied about. Um, so many nuggets, Sajan. It was such an amazing story. I totally loved it. I was just saying that, when you go to I have two daughters, so I have done those visits to the jewelers. One, I never knew who to go to, who can do a good job, because there were people offering the service even in a parlor, but could I trust them with it? Probably not. The other thing that came to my mind was I could actually relate with that Sonar image. He's sitting somewhere in the corner in that jewelry shop, away from all the limelight, and you just take your child to them and they do that piercing. And so it's all fine, but at the end of the day, you've actually transformed that experience. Today, if I want to get somebody to actually, come and join me, make it a celebration around this ear piercing, I can actually do that because it's happening in the comfort of my home, and it's so well managed. So thank you. Just for starters, I've actually booked an ear piercing service with MySunar, and I'm quite thrilled to actually go through this experience now, Sajan. So thank you for sharing that. I'll just take
Yes,
a
Krati, looking forward. Yeah.
Yes, Ajay, the whatever we heard from your story, दो हिस्से निकलते हैं, दो strings निकल रहे हैं जो story से. एक तो आपने ये मेंशन किया कि फादर स्ट्रिक्ट थे, तो थोड़ा बहुत हमको अपने चाइल्डहुड के बारे में जरूर बताएगा, बिकॉज थोड़ा बहुत आपका बैकग्राउंड. एंड दूसरा, सुनार आप पियर्सिंग के लिए बोल रहे हैं कि पियर्सिंग के लिए यूज होता है, डू एक्सप्लेन अस समथिंग मोर अबाउट योर बिजनेस, बिकॉज इट मेरे लिए बहुत ही अनहर्ड है. दो आई कंप्लीटली अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट. आई यूज टू, मुझे तो ज्वेलर्स का भी आई डोंट रिमेम्बर. आई रिमेम्बर दीज गाइज यूज्ड टू कम ऑन साइकिल and used to call out कि आओ, कान छुड़ाने वाला, नाक छुड़ाने वाला. So do explain us little bit more, Sajan. Sorry, हम लोग आपको वापस से थोड़ा चाइल्डहुड की तरफ लेके जा रहे हैं, but we would like to know कि कहाँ से ये पैशन निकल के आ रहा है, the love for the child and everything.
श्योर मोनिका, पहले मैं अपने डैड से शुरू करता हूँ. डैड, आई थिंक उस जमाने के पेरेंट्स वेर नेवर एक्सप्रेसिव. उनका एक्सप्रेशन अलग था, राइट. मैंने इंजीनियरिंग घर से दूर रह के किया है. मुझे करना नहीं था इंजीनियरिंग, बट डैड, बिकॉज ही वाज एन इंजीनियर, ही वांटेड टू मेक हिज पहला बच्चा. आई एम द एल्डेस्ट इन द इन अमंग माय ब्रदर्स, तो पहला बच्चा उनको इंजीनियर बनाना था. तो मैं उसके लिए घर से दूर रहा. इनफैक्ट मैं हमेशा घर से दूर रहना चाहता था, बिकॉज मेरे डैड इतने स्ट्रिक्ट थे, राइट.
Oh,
वो मैं इतने स्ट्रिक्ट थे कि मैं घर से दूर रहना चाहता था. और बट जिस दिन वो मुझे जिस दिन पहले दिन इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में छोड़ने आए मुझे, और मॉर्निंग में आए, हम बस उतरे, आज भी मुझे याद है. बहुत जल्दी पहुंच गए थे सुबह सुबह। ब्रेकफास्ट की हमने, इडली वगैरह कुछ तो। कॉलेज आए, प्रिंसिपल से, प्रिंसिपल नहीं, एचओडी से मिले, इंट्रोड्यूस कराया, और उसके बाद वो चले गए। यू नॉट बिलीव, इतने स्ट्रिक्ट फादर होने के बावजूद इतना घर से मैं भागना चाहता था। मतलब आई जस्ट वांटेड टू बी स्टे अवे फ्रॉम, बिकॉज कोई फ्रीडम नहीं था। बट आई फेल्ट होम सिक जस्ट तब वो मुझे हॉस्टल छोड़ के गए, एंड सडनली आई फेल्ट सो होम सिक कि मुझे घर जाना था वापस। तो सो दैट्स हाउ, पहले जमाने के पेरेंट्स एक्सप्रेसिव नहीं थे, बट दे हैड ऑल द राइट टूल्स टू गिव यू द राइट डायरेक्शन।
Correct.
मैं बहुत गलत गलत जाने वाला था, बट माई डैड न्यू, आई थिंक मे बी ही था, उनको इंट्यूशन, सही चीज क्या है, इसको पकड़ के यहाँ डालो, वरना मैं कहीं और ही
Intuitive.
चले जाता, मैं और अलग ट्रैक में निकल जाता था। सो पहले मैं डैड की तारीफ करता हूँ, तो वहां से शुरू करता हूँ। बट अदरवाइज डैड वाज सच अ डैड वाज अ टेरर, राइट? मतलब मार मार कुटाई से नीचे नहीं आते थे। उनका उनको एक सेटिस्फैक्शन, कभी कभी मैं आजकल ये स्टैंड अप कॉमेडीज देखता हूँ, सो स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियंस जो बोलते हैं, सो रिलेटेबल, राइट? कभी कभी ये पुराने जमाने के माँ बाप के ऊपर लेते हैं कि मतलब कुछ नहीं कर रहे होते हैं तो आके मार लेते हैं, बोले यार कुछ कर नहीं रहा था, काफी दिन हो गए थे, तो सोचा कुटाई कर लेता हूँ। अब माय डैड वाज लाइक छोटी छोटी चीजों पे उनको गुस्सा आना, एंड उनका फेवरेट बेल्ट था, बेल्ट से मारना।
Wow.
सो हमेशा निशान छोड़ के आते थे, बट ऑल सेड एंड डन, आई थिंक। बट मैं ना थोड़ा सा, मैं थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट भी था एज अ चाइल्ड, मस्तीखोर था फॉर श्योर। बट डिफरेंट इसलिए था, जब मैं इंजीनियरिंग गया, इन घर से अलग रहने मैंने जब से शुरू किया ना, इट चेंज माई लाइफ कम्प्लीटली। मेरा जो लाइफ स्किल्स है वो 10 टाइम्स और मे बी बहुत अलग हो गया। मैं इट जस्ट टुक मी टू अ डिफरेंट लेवल ऑफ मैनेजिंग थिंग्स। तो मैं जब घर आता था वापस, and I don't know whether you can continue on this spot, but मैं कुछ पर्सनल बताता हूँ कि ऑब्वियसली इंजीनियरिंग में जाते तो थोड़ा सा आप ड्रिंक्स करना शुरू कर लेते हो, राइट? सो पहली बार मैंने वहाँ पे सेकेंड ईयर में मैंने ड्रिंक शुरू किया। फर्स्ट ईयर में बड़ा सोबर था बच्चा, बिकॉज डैड का डर तभी भी था, फर्स्ट ईयर में भी। तो फर्स्ट ईयर में भी कभी मैंने हाथ नहीं लगाया, बट सेकेंड ईयर में व्हेन यू मेक फ्रेंड्स और दे से दैट कि बस भैया जरा खुल ले, तो I started. So when I came back home from my छुट्टी, I think I was in this third year or so. तो एक दिन मैं अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ ड्रिंक्स करके घर आया, एंड उस जमाने में फोन नहीं हुआ करते थे ना। तो आई वॉज लेट, पता नहीं कितना लेट था, शायद 12 बजे यहाँ पे। माई डैड वॉज वेटिंग, राइट? आने दो उसको। माई मॉम डिड एवरीथिंग दैट शी कुड इन टर्म्स ऑफ आप सो जाओ वगैरह वगैरह। मॉम थॉट दैट शील हेल्प मी एस्केप फ्रॉम हिम दैट नाइट, बट ऐसा हुआ नहीं। तो मैं रात को आया, आई वॉज ऑब्वियसली, ड्रिंक्स ली थी मैंने, एंड अलग ये हुआ उस दिन कि एक तो मैं ड्रिंक्स में था, एंड ड्रिंक्स में यू आर आप खुल जाते हो। सो मैंने डैड डैड तो रेडी थे बेल्ट के साथ, राइट? तो मैंने डैड को बोला, डैड कैन वी सिट कैन वी सिट डाउन एंड टॉक, राइट? मैं बड़ा हो गया हूँ डैड, एंड जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड, मुझे थोड़ा सा तो फ्रीडम दे सकते हैं ऐसा। मतलब I went into that conversation with him that give me that little freedom that I need, now I've grown up. So वो कॉन्वर्जेशन मुझे आज भी याद है, राइट? अभी डैड की 80th बर्थडे पे हम लोग गए थे, आई वाज इन केरला, एंड व्हेन वी took both dad and mom out, I brought up this topic. That do you remember this discussion? I came home drunk, he was standing with the belt, and how we got into a conversation. So so dad for me has been once upon a time terror, but I think he's played a pivotal role in shaping my overall career. मतलब मैं वरना भटक जाता था. So dad has been that, not very talkative. He doesn't talk much. Not very expressive as well. Otherwise, my mom is very expressive. Sonars, right? That's about my dad. About sonars. Right? So see, like I said, that the second question, Monica, you asked was about sonars, right?
जी,
So
जी, जी.
very unorganized. It's a very unorganized market. So when we started this, we never Even today, we don't focus adults.
Hmm.
Adults के nose piercing, adults के upper earlobe, helix, conch, right? Basic lobes. हम focus नहीं करते हैं उन पे. क्यों नहीं करते हैं? It's not because our sonars aren't skilled enough to do that. हम focus इसलिए नहीं करते हैं क्योंकि they'll not appreciate what we bring on the table as much as a parent would do for their child.
Hmm.
Right?
Right.
What are the two or three things that comes to your mind when you are really looking at for doing it for child safety, right? How well is the sonar going to take care of my child?
Absolutely.
Is he going to show a rush kind of an attitude? अब मैं आया हूँ, अभी मुझे निकलना है, आपकी बच्ची रो रही है, नहीं मेरे पास इतना टाइम नहीं है. Is that the attitude that they're going to show? Right? How how well are they going to be doing it in terms of hygiene? What hygiene are they following? आए
Hmm.
ऐसे करके निकल गए. So those that when you talk, both have target audiences completely change when I look at my parent, who's my customer, and my user, end user is the child, right? When I look at my customer as parent, very different. When I look at my end user as the adult, very different. The adult comes with a different thought. The adult comes with that, oh, this is very expensive. And I don't want to get into a conversation of expensive.
Hmm.
We do not talk about why are we expensive? Why is it so expensive? When I can go to a corner and get it done for X, we don't want to get into that conversation because we know what we are bringing on the table for each child. Right? The Sunars always had the skills, but they were never valued. Most of them, right? Every time, and the gold is at the peak now, right? All of us know that
Yeah.
gold is about 10 grams, is about 100,000 plus, right? Indian rupees. Every time the gold fluctuates, these guys go jobless. Why jobless? Because people don't want to make. They will wait for the market to come down unless there's a huge shadi वगैरह होगी. And most of them, right now, most of them have started avoiding making it from a local jeweler, a local. These are all individual guys who make it
Martin.
on that,
Yeah.
right? So they want Tanishq or a Kalyan or a Malabar to do these things. So where do these guys go? They were struggling, in terms of how do they run their life. I mean, so this concept initially even they didn't believe. Because बोला कि जहाँ पे हम लोग को कुछ मिलता नहीं था, जहाँ 50 रुपए मिलते थे क्या, and we pay them very handsome.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, we pay them very, very handsomely. And that's why when a customer asks us for discounts, we don't give discounts. We say you if you see that the service is not good, then it's our fault. Then, maybe we didn't do what we had to do. But
Yeah.
we don't cut corners, right? We pay them so well that they're happy with us. They don't complain about money. They may complain about we not following because we chase them for processes. If they
Hmm.
don't follow processes, then I have a problem. They have to come on the app. They have to look at their appointment on the app. Nobody from the office is going to call आपका appointment है. No, those are old style, old school. आपका अपॉइंटमेंट है, आपके डैशबोर्ड पे है, जाओ आप देखो अपने मोबाइल पे.
So
आपने
if
अपॉइंटमेंट.
yeah,
हाँ,
so sorry
मोनिका,
to
go ahead.
interrupt you, but अगर suppose कि I was little more interested about this entire thing of sonar. तो अगर किसी बंदी को आपसे अपॉइंटमेंट फिक्स करना है, तो modus operandi क्या है? ऐप डाउनलोड करे या आपको गूगल पे सर्च करे? How a customer reaches you out?
So the marketing, obviously, they don't have to download an app. They can go on our website and you
Okay.
can book it on our website, right?
Oh, cool.
So that's done. Now, how do we reach out to them? Is all these tools, right from SEO, which is the search engine optimization of Google,
Correct.
GEO, that's something come up relatively new, which is generative engine optimization. Then you have Google search, Google ads. So when a parent is Googling or you're putting,
Mhm.
using one of your AI search engines, you say that, I'm in, let's say, Krati says that, I'm in Delhi and I want to know the most safest ear piercing provider for my child who can come at home. Right? That's
Right.
the prompt that she'll put. And how well do we rate on that? And so that's how parents come to know about us. They go on our website, book the appointment, and then the
Lovely.
whole engine works. Yes.
Absolutely lovely. Yeah, Pratik. So, Sajan,
mean, I'm hearing that there are a lot of challenges that you've overcome, right? And like I said previously, I think booking for my daughter was very easy. It was one of the top searches, definitely. Do you see a lot of competition in this space starting to come, or is your competition like the traditional jewelers?
No, there is the only organized player is Cloud9 Maternity Hospital, right?
Okay.
The Cloud9 Maternity Hospital is an organized player in this. That's one. Second, who's our who's our competition is we follow the traditional needle piercing. We do not practice guns.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cloud9 practices gun piercing. So we are against the wind, right? We're going against the wind. We're going against where people may think that gun is the progressive way of doing it. But
Correct.
when we did our research and when we thought about keeping gun as a part of the flavor for what we want to offer, we strictly decided not to have it because of the safety concerns that gun brings.
Really?
Yeah, the
You
safety
really
concern.
think that's a challenge? I mean, for me, it's new to know because now it's so common that a gunshot करा लेते हैं ear piercing. So please enlighten us. क्या है क्या ये?
Yeah, so gun piercing has a lot of when we did, and you can do that too. So gun piercing, it's a blunt force, right? The guns have a pressure point. They have a spring, and that spring works on a 1.6 pressure point,
अच्छा.
right? And every gun manufactured, the quality of the spring may be different depending on from where the provider who's serving you with the gun piercing has bought it from a European maker or from an one of the Asian countries maker. Depending on that, the pressure point is completely on that, and that leads to something called as blunt force trauma, right? Because there's a bluntness which is called a jhatka. It's a
Mm.
jhatka. Right?
Correct.
That jhatka leads to skin filament damages, skin tissue damages. It may not appear to you because you are far away from who's doing it. आपको दिख रहा है आपको दिख रहा है जल्दी हो गया. But the one who's doing it, the gun shot में गन की आवाज आती है, वो गन की आवाज एकदम कान के पास में उसके है. Right? So which is also, so there is a lot of research work that is done on gun piercing, why gun should not be done. So yes, that's one of the reason why we didn't keep it as a flavor at all. So we didn't give a choice. So asking your competition, a competition itself is gun, right? And there are so many gun players who have reached out to us and said, why don't you keep gun with you? And I've said, no, I'll not keep guns. Philosophy, right? You stick to a philosophy, you go with the philosophy, you, even if someone comes and says that ये business 10 times ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, and fact है ये हो सकता है, because there are so many see, for there are also parents who just blindfolded, right? They'll come, वो comfort को safety से पहले भी देख सकते हैं, and the comfort is जल्दी हो गया.
जल्दी हो
But
गया.
if there is a provider who explains to them, no, look, safety comes first because it's about your child, right? So then अगर उसमें time लगता है हमको समझाने में, so all of those material that we gather and time that we spent with the parent in the initial days, which today has given us the credibility that parents can come, that the trust level is built, so they'll come, नहीं हमको traditional तरीके से करना है. The myth had to be busted. And the myth about traditional piercing was ये बहुत दर्द होता है इसको. We had to bust that. तो दर्द बहुत होता है यार, ये दर्द नहीं होता है ये. ठीक है, पुराने जमाने में कैसे करते थे पता है? पुराने जमाने में they didn't even looked at the thickness of the needle. वो चाहे मोटा हो जस्ट डाल देते थे. एंड पुराने जमाने में बच्चा रोता है तो देयर वाज नो कंसर्न. वो बोलते थे रोना अच्छा होता है, गट ठीक होता है उससे. वो कहते थे कि बहुत थ्रोट ठीक होगा. दैट्स व्हाट आई मीन. इफ हमारे पेरेंट्स हमकी कुटाई करते थे, हम रोते हुए देखते थे कि दे कुछ लगता था,
गट ही
उनको
ठीक
और
हो रहा
मारते
है.
थे. और मारते थे.
कई लोग और कई लोग तो बोलते हैं लंग्स भी तुम्हारे खुलते हैं ना बच्चा जब जोर जोर से रोता है.
We can find as many excuses.
That's the fact. ऐसी है. That's the fact. I mean, that's what is written in all your Ayurveda. That's what people say. In हमारे सुनार्स के जो ancestors हैं, they still say that. वो आज भी बोलते हैं जब बच्चे अगर थोड़ा सा रो लेते हैं और पेरेंट्स जब हड़बड़ा जाते हैं ना, बोलते हैं कि नहीं वो रो रहा है, अच्छी बात है, आप रोने दो उसको थोड़ा सा, राइट,
Hmm.
दे विल नो, उनकी आवाज में वो आएगी, राइट. So yeah, so that's it, Krati. So the that's the competition that we have. Our competition, according to me, are no players, right? Not providers.
Hmm.
It's the manufacturer, gun manufacturer. So it's the practice. So I'm fighting against this modern. We are a modern company,
Hmm.
right? Everything is modernized,
Hmm.
from pre to during to post. Pre,
Yeah.
they come digitally, they get it, they can reschedule, they can track their who's their sonar, they can reach out to, that's digitized. During consumption, we use the most, you know, medical graded things when during our whole stuff, right from the piercing needle to the whole procedure. Everything is that's modernized.
Yeah.
Post piercing, the whole thing is digitized within 70% of automation and about 30% of human. So modernization, there's no compromise.
Hmm.
But what is right is questionable. Is
Yeah.
the method of gun? That is what I'm fighting. So my competition is gun,
Thank
right?
you,
And
Sajan.
that's a big competition that I have because there are international makers who
Yeah.
make the gun part of it.
Now, I think, I mean, throughout the story so far, Sajan, I've heard quite a few things that have resonated with me. I think the first and the primary one is the customer experience, right? So you have whatever philosophy you're putting in place, you're thinking about your customer and that's how you're executing, right? You're focusing on making sure that you're managing your vendors and your suppliers in a way that, they are up to the mark so that your customer experience is prime. You're also digital, you're forward looking, you're taking on challenges, and it seems like, a long and hard fought journey, which is still continuing. I mean, from whatever I hear, I can say that I'm very assured of what MySunar brings particularly. So thank you for sharing that. But I just want to take a you know segue into my next question with this, which is around sort of you also mentioned you've left corporate. 20 years in corporate is not a small time. And I just wanted to, ask this question for the people who are sitting on the verge with a good idea and looking into things that fearful of what it holds for them. What is it that you would want to say to people like that? That how difficult is it, or how can they leverage their corporate experience to create something which is rewarding to them in terms of their passion or creating new value for the customers out there?
So Krati, ideas have no value. Okay, frankly, ideas have no value. Look at the biggest example is my friend always had the idea, right? We started the idea together, but 1.5 years of that struggle showed reality.
Mm.
So he went back to his corporate life.
Mm.
Ideas have no value. What really matters is how are you translating that idea into reality. And उसके
True.
लिए और उसके लिए वो reality के लिए you have to be extremely hardworking. बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत. ये जो 9 to 6, 9 to 5, balanced life, extremely hardworking. You have to be restless. You have to just think about बहुत सारे इसमें compromises होंगे.
Mm.
घर वाले नाराज हो जाएंगे. आपको you have to find ways how to make them happy. माँ बाप परेशान होंगे. You have to find ways how to make them happy. Time नहीं होगा आपके पास में. Your Sundays are going to be spoiled because customers पहले corporate world में you have 3 layers of backup. मैं नहीं हूँ, कोई आ जाएगा, कोई आए, कोई आ जाएगा. And then you will show that out of office. वो आ जाता, mail आ जाता था, I'm out of office. Controlled environment.
Mm.
Very controlled environment. You have backups. I'm not saying pressure नहीं है corporate job में. Corporate job में भी pressure था. But अगर कोई idea लेके बैठा है and बोला कि boss, I just want to, this is, I would, building a startup, building a company is an extremely consuming thing. Consume कर लेगा आपको. Right? It will, because because you know that you're up for something which, you know, every time it will keep questioning you. So मेरा पहला ये है कि if somebody is sitting with an idea, if you do not have, अगर ये basic thing hard working का तुम्हारे फंडास क्लियर नहीं है तो मत करो. हार्ड वर्किंग का मतलब हर चीज करने का विलिंगनेस होना चाहिए. हर चीज में you may have to pack the courier and give the parcel to the customer. You may have to, everything, right? हर चीज नहीं, ये मैंने कभी किया नहीं है, मैं नहीं करूंगा या करूंगी. So hard working is non-negotiable. Relentless. उसमें मतलब वहां पे कुछ नहीं है. The second is, I think, ग्रिट जिसे कहते हैं ना, ग्रिट होना बहुत जरूरी है. ग्रिट अगर नहीं होगा मतलब यू हैव टू बी, मतलब यू हैव टू शो अप. You have to find a reason to get a good sleep. You have to find a reason to wake up in the morning. मुझे आज तक नींद में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आया, जबकि मैं एक्सट्रीम प्रेशर में हूँ. But I have never had a problem in sleeping. Right? I'll go back, I'll go to my bed, I'll hit. So you'll have to find ways if, and because the startup environment is very challenging, बहुत सारी चीजें आएंगी. Whether you're funded or you're not funded. Funded नहीं हो तो तुम्हारे पैसे जा रहे हैं, या तुम कैश फ्लोज अगर तुम्हारे शुरू हो गए हैं तो प्लस ग्रोथ के लिए तुम कितने पैसे लाओगे, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. अगर फंडेड हो तो भी लाइफ इज नॉट सेट, बिकॉज जिसने फंडिंग किया वो तुम्हारे पीछे पड़ेगा. दैट इज ऑल्सो बिकॉज दे ऑल्सो वांट रिजल्ट्स. सो अगर स्टार्टअप में आप माइंडसेट लेके नहीं आओगे, स्टार्टअप इज नॉट अबाउट, वो मत देखो कि वो $1 billion वैल्यूएशन एंड $2 billion वैल्यूएशन. डोंट कम विद दैट. सो those who are sitting with an idea, obviously there are things that they need to do: go to market, check what your consumer is saying, what you have built, tested, prototype banao, at least एक basic prototype banao, right? If it's a product company, अगर services company है तो at least go sample size में 10 customer से बात करो. वो सब है, that's all fine, right? That's वो strategy है, वो आ सकता है. बट स्ट्रैटेजी एवरीथिंग पेपर पे होता है, एग्जीक्यूशन इज जहां पे फट जाती है.
Yeah.
So my single advice to those who are having an idea and want to start is be ready for hard work, be ready to have compromises, a lot of compromises, and see if you can be a sales guy. मैं बहुत मानता हूँ कि a sales guy, the selling skills is the biggest skill that anybody can have. Those who can sell can survive, initially survive, and they can further build on. जैसे मैंने कहा, winning hearts. Right? So you have to be a startup founder has to be a sales guy. They have to be sales guy or saleswoman, right? Whatever you're saying. If they have to understand sales. because अपनी खुद की प्रोडक्ट नहीं बेच पाओगे आप,
तो क्या करो. बिल्कुल.
so that's it. Yeah.
Yes, that's beautiful, yaar. I mean, आपने जो बात बोली, that leads me to another question. Having this, dealing with these pressures, and you said something so beautiful is that when you hit the bed, you don't struggle to get sleep. You don't struggle even to get up out of the bed. That क्या दिन होगा, कितना struggle होगा. ये balance कैसे लेके आते हो? What are the rituals you would like to share with us?
Yes.
Because कुछ तो होगा यार जो तुम अलग करते होगे. Because मैंने देखा है लोगों को, they 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 get so stressed out, they stop laughing, they stop enjoying. But तुम्हें देख के तो कहीं से ऐसा नहीं लग रहा है. और एंड यू आर सो ओपन अबाउट इट कि मैंने फाड़ा नहीं है यार मार्केट को, मेरा अभी भी फाड़ना बाकी है, वो दिन अभी भी आएगा, वेट फॉर द एंड. तो बट यू स्टिल आर सो काम कंपोज्ड. तुम्हारे किसी भी बात में ये नहीं लगा कि जिंदगी नहीं जी रहे हो, तुम घूम के आते हो, पेट्स है तुम्हारे पास. आई मीन, कैसे कर लेते हो यार? टेल दिस टू आवर ऑडियंसेस.
पता नहीं, मे बी मैं नेचुरली ऐसे बिल्ट होऊंगा. आई डोंट नो अबाउट दैट, बट मैं बताता हूँ मैंने क्या क्या करता हूँ. आई एम अ रनर, राइट? आई रन मैराथन्स. सो मेरा सुबह वेकिंग अप फ्रॉम बेड 5:45 6 बजे, मुझे अलार्म की जरूरत नहीं है. आई वेक अप ऑन माई ओन. पहली चीज, ऑब्वियसली आई टेक बोथ माई किड्स. पहले सुबह मैं इन दोनों को लेके जाता हूँ नीचे, और बाकी 2 टाइम डॉग वॉकर लेके जाता है, राइट? सो फर्स्ट मॉर्निंग वॉक, एंड and they are excited to go out with me.
Of course.
उस टाइम पे मैं मोबाइल लेके नहीं जाता हूँ, right? I just be with them. मोबाइल नहीं लेके जाता. I don't carry that. So that time, about 30-35 minutes that I spend with them is one thing that I do. The second, I go for my run. Run में ना, I don't know how many of people run, but run एक ऐसी चीज है ना, it gives you a lot of personal time. मैं गाना नहीं सुनता हूँ, मैं कुछ नहीं सुनता हूँ, मैं सिर्फ रन करता हूँ और मैं
Wow.
सोचता रहता हूँ. आई कीप थिंकिंग, राइट? आज क्या होगा, क्या बिल्ड करना चाहिए, क्या मार्केटिंग प्लान होना चाहिए, राइट? हु इज डूइंग वेल, हु इज नॉट डूइंग वेल. मैं दौड़ता रहता हूँ. दैट आई रन अबाउट 5 किलोमीटर्स, 30-35 मिनट्स. सिर्फ यही करता हूँ मैं. आई डू नॉट स्किप अ सिंगल डे ऑफ रनिंग एक्सेप्ट संडे. संडे मेरी छुट्टी है. संडे को आई डोंट रन, क्योंकि संडे को मैं दोनों बच्चों को, कभी शीतल माई वाइफ, वी गो टू बीच, टेक देम आउट. संडे को नहीं करता हूँ मैं. बट इस टाइम पे ये जो रन वाला टाइम है, अगर मैं कभी भी स्किप नहीं करता, चाहे बारिश भी हो रही है, आई वेयर अ स्विमिंग कैप, सो नथिंग कैन स्टॉप मी फ्रॉम
Wow.
व्हाट आई हैव पुट इन माय कैलेंडर. अगर वो मैं दौड़ा नहीं, इफ आई डोंट रन दैट डे, आई विल नॉट बी सेटल्ड. वो कुछ चलता रहेगा मेरे दिमाग में. सो इट इज अ टिक मार्क, आई हैव टू रन. So running is the second thing. Third is I enjoy my work. For many of them, for even for my parents or my close friends, they couldn't figure out what I was doing. They said, "What are you doing? Oh, ear piercing? What the hell is this? Are you out of your mind? What are you doing?" They couldn't figure out. They still can't figure out the larger picture that I have in my mind, and that is only a founder's ability, right? Although the idea wasn't mine, but when I started absorbing the idea, I could close my eyes and see, where I want to build this company to. I'm more or less there, not more or less there. आ गया हूँ, somewhere, but I know where it has to go. Right? We are in that journey. So I just enjoy my work. Right?
Lovely.
I just enjoy my work. मेरे लिए छोटी छोटी खुशियां ही, अगर एक 5 स्टार मेरी गूगल रिव्यू पे आ जाता है, उसमें उन लोगों ने कुछ ऐसा कुछ लिख दिया जो मेरे को ऐसा, विच मेक्स मी फील सो इमोशनल, माई डे इज डन. उस दिन अगर मेरा बिजनेस नहीं भी हुआ ना, तो आई एम ओके विद इट, बिकॉज वो दैट 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 कॉम्पनसेटेड विद दैट. So Monica, these are few of the things, right? So I just enjoy my work. I run. I take my pets out in the morning, that 30-35 minutes, because उसके बाद पूरे दिन में I can't spend time with them. काम पे लगा रहता हूँ. And I said that जहाँ पे मौका मिला, I will dance, right? So अगर अगर कोई अगर कोई किसी की भी पार्टी है, we'll definitely go, right? हम बिल्कुल जाएंगे. इवन इनफैक्ट मैं शौर्य, who's my son, उसकी बर्थडे पार्टीज में, although he may not want to invite me, but I will barge in, right? I'll
And
barge in
dance.
and I'll dance.
And dance.
I'll dance, and so वो करता हूँ मैं. And yeah, so that's it. Yeah.
Love it, Sajan.
प्रति मेरे लिए तो बहुत ही थेरेपेटिक था इसकी बात जो
Same,
समझी है ना.
same,
साजन ने-
same. So, I mean, itna kuch, and you and like Monica, I know ki you are in that space as well. You've left corporate, you've been here. We are together trying to build something on the sides of it, and like there's so many learnings that I can actually take away from what Sajan just shared. And मतलब मैं आजकल थोड़ा टेंशन में ना कभी कभी सो ही रहती हूँ, but Sajan, I will try to get up and actually go for that walk
Yeah.
without my phone as well. So I will take that as a learning and a takeaway from this podcast. I think I would love to now, unfortunately move it to the end. But I had some quick question, sort of fire
Sure.
round. Try to keep it 1 or 2 words, one sentence, something like that. Don't have to explain. So here's the question, right? So what is the size of your company right now?
In terms of employees or revenue?
Yes, in terms of employee revenue.
Employee size, we are about 26 of us, including me.
Very nice.
Right. And yeah, that's what you wanted to hear?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
How many number of cities do you cover?
12.
12. Amazing. Is your own ear pierced?
I did once. I did once. Yeah, and मेरे को जबरदस्ती कराया गया था. उन्होंने किया था मेरे the most senior most sonar in Bangalore. I visited Bangalore. तो उन्होंने मुझे जबरदस्ती कराया. बोला करना ही है. But I had to remove it. पता नहीं क्या था. मेरे ख्याल से मेरा ये था. Investor meeting. And I felt that कि investor meeting में, although I was wrong, I should have investor meeting में, because I come from the corporate world, right? So मेरे लिए tattoo भी is like tattoo भी मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ा. My son has a big tattoo, and he goes to work. I tell him that boss, you wear a full sleeves. He said no, I'm okay, and everybody at my workplace is okay with it. मेरे लिए tattoo बनाना भी is like मैं tattoo भी नहीं बनाऊं, right?
Yeah.
Because I come from that culture. So
Correct.
to answer your question, थे अभी नहीं है.
Okay. And uska hai kya? Is Shaurya's ears pierced?
And ear pierced by MySunar.
Whoa. And one piercing or multiple piercings?
Sure, one piercing. Yeah.
But generally, like if you had to pick one piercing or multiple piercing, what would you suggest? You're
I
liking.
think for men, one is good. For women, I think it's now become very trendy to have, the whole of upper earlobes and helix, and so it's trending. So it's personal choice.
And final question is, what is your sort of 1 or 2 line vision for MySunar?
See, when I started MySunar, I used to talk to the 2 employees that we've had, that I want MySunar to be the number one company in India when it comes to babies. Okay? Not necessarily about piercing, but if someone says about experience, if someone has to benchmark about service industry, I want MySunar to be right at the top. And I and my team are working extremely hard for it. We don't want a single customer to go disappointed, to an extent that I don't care about sometimes bottom line. Right? I may give away just to make the customer feel that we've not been unfair. Right? We've not been unfair to them. So we go that extra mile. So I want MySunar to be remembered as a company which has benchmarked the service excellence for children and parents' experience. So yes, the number one baby piercing or baby company in India is what I want MySunar to be.
Awesome. And I think Monica and I can speak on your behalf, Monica, want to congratulate you, and we want to share our best wishes that you reach that milestone ever sooner than later.
Absolutely. I wish you all very best. And with this mindset, Prati, I don't see it very far. I see it somewhere just around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you so much, Krati. I love to be here. मजा आया because मुझे काफी टाइम के बाद खुल के बात करने का मौका मिला. And कुछ ऐसे सवाल you guys asked me जो मेरे एकदम करीब के हैं. Very close to me and very emotional. Whether it was about my dad, my old days of growing up, about MySunar, how it started, what I want to build, about sales. Sales is something that I सबको बोलता हूँ कि बहुत sales वाले बनो. Nobody wants, in today's generation, nobody wants to do sales. My son doesn't want to do sales. Right? So nobody. But thank you. I loved it. I loved every minute of the conversation. I would have been a bit elaborate on few of the things, but I'm sorry for that. But I loved it.
no, no, no. We loved everything.
You were perfect, Sajan. We loved the conversation. And again, we just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for taking this time, sharing this space with us. To anybody who's been listening to this episode, if you liked it, please do subscribe to our channel. To leave us comments. Let us know how you found it, how we can do better, and share it with at least one person that you know so that they can benefit from it as well. With that,